Hi everybody, welcome to episode 40 of the Knits and Pieces podcast. My name is Noelle.
And I'm Kelly.
And we're coming to you from southwestern Ontario.
It's May 1st.
It is May 1st, I know.
It doesn't feel like it.
No,
it's still sweater weather.
It doesn't. It's been a month since we were in Montreal.
I know.
It doesn't, it just like time just goes by like.
I haven't unpacked my yarn yet.
I've unpacked it, but I haven't put it away yet. Have I knit with any of it? Yes.
Yes,
I have.
yes, you
so
have.
that'll be coming out. Yes, I have. I've actually knit with a couple of things out of it.
Yeah.
Anyways, we are a mostly knitting podcast. We do other things. Mm-hmm. We do some sewing. Kelly does sewing. Some spinning, weaving, cooking, candle making, baking, various, crafty things. So we use this podcast to share in a little bit more detail than our regular. We do a Tuesday knit chat where we just kind of informally talk about what we're working on or what we've been doing. But in this podcast, we actually go through things a little more formally with a little bit more information about our makes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And in this episode, we have a lot of prizes to give away.
We do, because
There's
we haven't.
Lot.
Our last episode we did in Montreal, so we really didn't do any admin type things. It was just kind of a quick in the hotel room little vlog.
Yes. So one of the new things that I'm doing, starting with this podcast, is I will include timestamps in the video, so you can, if you're not in the running for some prizes on some of our make-alongs, which we all hope that you are, because there's some good ones, then you're able to click through and find the areas of the podcast that are of better interest to you.
Right.
So we can start with what we're wearing.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm going to talk about mine later because it's also an FO.
Okay. So I am wearing the Whip It cardigan by Ankastrick. This cardigan is old. It's got to be at least 6 or 7 years.
It's holding up well.
It is. It's made in Debbie Bliss Fine Donegal. The color is Winter Rose. And I love it. I love the pattern in it. I love the weight of it. I love just a quick little stand here, but it's just a little short cardigan. It's kind of perfect for like today because it's 4-ply weight, fingering weight, so it's not really super heavy. Easy to throw on. You can it doesn't have a button band per se, but you can either use some kind of closure to close it, or you could just wear it open. And it's perfect over, I just have a little tank top on, it's perfect over that. So
looks great.
Thanks.
And Beatrice is wearing, and I'm
it's the Odyssey shawl.
Quickly rummaging back through to find.
It's Odyssey.
I know it's Odyssey by Joji Locatelli.
By Joji Locatelli. And
the yarn is.
It's Silk Merino by
Northbound Knitting.
And
I was going to try to find the colors, but I can't even find the project quick enough. So
no, it's like a blush and a gray. But I think it was a 50 silk, 50 merino blend.
It has a real sheen to it.
It does. And
luscious,
it's got
luscious
amazing drape. And this was a DK weight.
Yes.
So
it knit up really quickly. And,
yeah, mine's similar to yours. Just I think I have a lighter color here. But
okay.
So we should go on to, we have some admin to go through.
We have lots of admin, which is all of the prizes. So
that's right, because we're really doing 2 months of prizes.
Yes.
Because we didn't do them in Montreal.
That's right. That's right. At the last podcast. That was live from our hotel room on our hasty exit, running to the train. But we got it done.
We did.
We got it done.
We did.
It was good. Okay, so the first one that we have is a sock cowl, and it's a year-long sock cowl. So anything that you enter starting January of this year all the way through to December 31st, at the end of each month we do a draw with the amount of socks that are already in the pool.
That's right.
So you have opportunities to win every time we do draws. And we do 2 draws each month. The first one is a pattern prize, which is very generously donated from our friend Natalie of Remembrances Pottery. She has some gorgeous colorwork patterns in there. So that's always the first prize. And then the second prize is a yarn prize, usually sock related.
Yes.
Always sock related.
Yes, it's always sock related. So.
Okay. So, and this year we're trying, since it's the year 2022, we're trying to get to 2022 sock entries in the cowl. And I think we're on track because
We are.
by the end of March we had 638
Yep.
pairs, and by the end of April we had 839.
Yep.
So that's averaging 200
200
pairs a
a
month,
month.
which
Yeah.
is on track for 2,400.
Yep.
So keep knitting,
Yep.
keep entering. And so the first prize, so as I said, in March we had 638 entries, and the first prize for the pattern is number 35, which is K1235. Her name is Carrie. Put the slide below. Congratulations, Carrie. Those are some beautiful socks. And
so
then
Carrie is winning the pattern from
the pattern,
Natalie.
yes. And then the second one is the yarn prize, and is this one? Yes. And the first yarn prize that we have is a donation from Ginger Snap Yarn. Get it turned the right way. Not in Noelle's face, sorry.
It's okay. It matches my sweater.
There we go. And this is their Lush Fingering Weight 2-ply. It's a 75/25 merino nylon. There's 463 yards. This is a really generous skein, and there's some beautiful colors.
Yeah, very springy.
And it just happens to match everything
Yes, it
that
does.
we're wearing today.
It does.
Which, by the way, we never, ever, ever talk about what we're going to show up and wear on a podcast, and somehow it
Most
just
of the time it
works
always
out.
matches. Yeah.
Just works out. Yeah.
So Kim and Colin were at Knit
City,
City.
Montreal.
It's been a month. Knit City, Montreal. And then they came to Little Red Mitten and did a pop-up shop. We couldn't go. That's when Kelly had COVID, so we couldn't go. But they generously left us a couple of skeins of yarn to use as giveaways.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Kim and Colin.
So this is beautiful, beautiful. And so for April, then we have April entries. And by April, I said we had 839 pairs. The first prize for the pattern goes to entry number 722, which is Mary Knits 7, or Mary.
Mary.
So put that in here. Congratulations, Mary.
Yes, so you win a pattern prize from Natalie.
Okay, and then the second prize is a yarn prize, and this yarn prize is from Leo and Roxy, and it's a really cute little mini set. This was actually their Knit City Montreal show colors, so it's called the Montreal Flock of 3 mini set, and there are 60 grams in here, so more than enough to do a pair of socks and do some pretty color work socks. Really, really pretty colors. And that prize goes to number 793, which is Conmar, or Connie. Congratulations, Connie.
Okay, congratulations to all the sock winners, and we love seeing all the socks that are in there. We'll see when we come to FOs. I think I've got a little bit of my sock mojo back, but
Yes.
But then when you go to my whips, you'll see that really it's dropping off again. So
That's okay. It's okay to knit all the things. It doesn't have to be any one thing. Yes.
That's right. So
Okay, I'll let you do the next one.
okay. So the second cal that we had going was our Smash Your Stash cal. So in this cal, you had to go in and you had to use fiber that had been in your stash since, well, on or before December the 31st, 2021. So we originally were going to end it on March the 31st, but because we were in Montreal and, you know, a lot of people wanted it to continue, so we decided that we would continue it until the end of April, but that we would go back, and when we would draw a prize from the beginning to the end of March, and then a second prize from the beginning to the end of April. Okay, so anybody that got there by March 31st had double the chances to win.
Yes.
So, okay, so the first prize that we have is this skein of yarn. Absolutely gorgeous peach color. This is from Granny Johnson's hand-dyed yarn, and this was donated to the podcast. It's a beautiful blend of 25% superwash merino and 25% mulberry silk. So 75-25, it just feels unbelievable. It's a gorgeous peachy color. And I will also put the information for Granny's shop down underneath the video. But the prize for this goes to, where is it here? The March winner is PKKA Moran, and that's Kathy. And she did socks from yarn that she had in stash. So congratulations, Kathy.
This is beautiful. Okay.
And then our April winner is going to win. This is another skein that was donated to the podcast from Ginger Snap. This is, again, the Lush fingering weight. So it's 75-25. It's a merino nylon blend. It is in the color Silver Fox. So this prize was for everybody up till the end of April.
And we had 609 entries, too, in our Smash That
Yes,
stash.
that's amazing. So that's all that yarn that's out of your stash.
Yes.
So this prize...
And we're going to give you some to put right back in.
That's right. This prize goes to Big D, and that's Denise. And this was actually kind of really neat because Denise actually did a spinning project. So she took a braid of her fiber and she actually turned it into yarn. So that's amazing too. So we want to make sure that you realize that a lot of our ongoing make-alongs, it's not just knitting. You can knit, you can crochet, you can spin, you can weave. So it's not just knitting. So congratulations to Denise.
Okay. There's more. We're
more.
not done
We're
yet.
not done yet.
We're not
No,
done
no,
yet.
no.
We thought we were, and then just as we were getting ready to podcast, found this other skein and thought we had something that we had
Yes,
going
we
on
did.
with that.
Just because it's been so long.
So in our 2 episodes ago, which we filmed here in the studio, we had, it was called Totally Corked, and we were talking about the cork raft.
Yes, I should have brought it. I forgot
Oh,
it.
the little
well,
raft of
anyway.
Pearl and her little cork raft. Yes. So we were talking about that, and the challenge there was to put a comment below the podcast.
Yes.
Let us know where you would like the cork raft to stop. This is an imaginary trip. For those of you who might be new to the podcast, well, firstly, welcome if you're new.
Right.
And secondly, this is a little ongoing kind of a fun theme that we had when we started the knit chats a little over a year ago. If we could build a raft, well, firstly, Noelle had this absurd amount of corks, and then somebody came up with the idea of building a raft, and then if we could travel around the world, where would we want the cork raft to go? And it's been around the world several times.
It has
I think
been.
the cork raft, and the
We would
comments
love
were
to go
fantastic.
everywhere in the comments.
Absolutely
And
everywhere.
we would love to meet all of you.
And what was absolutely amazing is that when we prompted you to say where you wanted to go on the cork raft, we thought you would just pop in like a name, like where the cork raft would go. But you wrote entire dialogued stories of what we would do on the raft at that place. Funny little things like, sail by here, I'll bring more wine.
Yeah.
People were talking about drinking more wine on the raft so that we had more corks to
yeah.
extend the raft as we traveled.
That's right.
It was just...
So we could
it was
pick up
great.
more people and bring home more yarn.
Bring home more
and-
yarn. Yes. Yeah, it was fantastic. We had so much fun reading the comments. But there's a random YouTube comment picker which picks the comments. So there was, it had nothing to do with which one we thought was funniest or which was the most heartwarming. It's just a random. And what we were giving away is actually Rose Hills yarn, and it's a sock set, and it's called Corked. Perfectly named. So I had bought one for Noelle and myself and thought that we needed to give away one on the podcast. The great thing about this yarn is that if you were knitting it and you were drinking some
That's
Merlot,
right. If you spilt some, wouldn't matter.
nobody would know.
would
It's
just add to the
perfect.
character of
It's
the yarn.
perfect. So this is her half skein set. So you get 50 grams in the multicolored skein, and then you get a 20 gram mini, which is perfect for heels and toes.
Yeah.
And the winner is Joan Mather. I'll put the slide in.
Yeah. So congratulations to all our winners. So we need you to get in touch with us. We will put the email for the podcast down underneath. It is, what is it again? nitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. So we'll put that down underneath, or you can message us directly on Ravelry or on Instagram, and we will make sure that we get your prizes out to you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Okay.
going to be a busy mail day
Yes. Yes.
for me. Okay, and then we have a new one to talk about.
We do have a new one to talk about. Okay. I mentioned this podcast briefly on our last knit chat because we knew that this podcast probably wouldn't be out until after the beginning of May. So this make along is going to run from May the 1st until June the 30th. And it is going to be called the Spark Joy Make Along. So we want you to make whatever brings you joy. If it's making something for yourself, if it's making something for someone else, if it's spinning something for yourself, spinning something for someone else, whatever you want, whatever brings you joy. So
just try to work on it a little bit every day. That's the only thing that I want to say is, if we're looking at something that's bringing you joy or sparking joy for you, try to be consistent. Try to carve out that little bit out of every day to do something that you really enjoy. And that's kind of where the idea for this one came from. And I had this gifted to me by a dear friend. She didn't even know I was having a bad day, and she landed in my office, and she had the little bluebird of happiness for me. He's not focusing. He's too tiny. There he is. So it just sort of, I don't know. It made me happy. It sparked joy. It was
your
the
yarn.
tiniest little thing. Well, I know it's my yarn, and I'm going to show it later, but you spun it for me. But this was some leftover, and he's just super cute. So he's he's the little mascot for the Spark Joy. He's the little bluebird of happiness. So keep him in mind when you're knitting and find some happiness.
Yeah.
So there's some criteria, though.
Yes, there's a little bit of criteria. So again, the dates are May 1st to June 30th. It can be any making craft. You have to use 50 grams minimum of fiber and no whips, because we want this to be something that you go, like if it's going to bring you joy to go out and buy yarn to start it, go buy yarn to start it. Or if it's going to make you happy to knit something that's in your stash that's gorgeous, do that. Or if it's, going to make you happy to spin some yarn, do that. Yeah. But it has to be something that makes you happy, but it doesn't necessarily have to be for yourself, because I know it makes me happy when I make things for other people. So just something that you're really enjoying it when you're working on it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, okay. Yeah. Whew. Okay. That was a minute.
That was.
I think we're about 18 minutes in, and we
haven't even showed any knitting yet.
We haven't even shown knitting yet. So let's get to some knitting.
Okay.
Turn the page.
Okay. I haven't even got to mine yet because I only started with knitting.
And we've got some FOs.
We do.
Okay. FOs.
FOs.
How many do you have? I have 4.
8.
Okay, well, I guess you'll start.
Okay. My first FO is a sweater.
This is so pretty.
So this is the Love Note. This is a sweater by Tin Can Knits. And this version is done in Life in the Long Grass. They're singles yarn, and the color is Moonlit. And it's held with Songbird fibers, their silk mohair blend, which is called Feather, and the color is Soft Moss. So this one is, I do mine a little differently when I do it. I don't start with the provisional cast on because I've done enough of them that I know that the neck's going to fit, so I just start with the neck. And I like a tighter gauge. So I think the original pattern calls for like 16 stitches. I like mine to be between 18 and 20. So I do a bigger size, but just then I end up with a tighter gauge. And you do use a little bit more yarn if you do that because you're making a heavier fabric. But I find when I do that, like realistically, these holes aren't that big on mine that I don't even really need to wear, like other than a bra, I don't need to wear like a tank top or anything underneath it. Mm-hmm. And I like that. And I love the feel of the mohair and this next to my skin.
This is such a soft sweater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
I really
long
like
sleeves.
it.
And
I did long sleeves. I did long sleeved. I had enough yarn, so I did long sleeves. What I also did was I put a side seam stitch down the side.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it?
Yeah, it did show up.
Yeah, okay.
There we go.
So I put a side seam, so that's just a purl stitch down the side. And I just find that this helps with blocking to kind of like even out when you're blocking it. And then my husband makes me these little leather tags to put on my projects. That way, especially with this, when there are short rows, but they're down at the bottom, so you can't necessarily see the difference in the front and the back by the neck. Mm-hmm. So if I've got this on the front, I know that the little tag goes on the front, so then it's easier to get my sweater on the right way.
There's lots of little tips and tricks about that. Like It sounds funny, but honestly, there's lots of times where I can't tell
Yep.
the right from the wrong. So I have these little tiny buttons, and I always sew a button on the back just inside the neckband, and it's a small button. So
Yep.
it lays really flat.
Yep, and we've seen people that said they embroider a little flower
Yeah.
on the back neck because you're not going to see it.
This one I didn't have the buttons with me when I finished it, so I made a little bow tie
Yep.
at the back and out of the yarn. So that's sitting back there. But yeah, I always have to put something back there to tell me.
Yep. And so the same with the sleeves here. I put the purl stitch down the sleeve seam. I did full length sleeves. This sleeve was just knit straight down and then the hem, so I didn't do any decreasing in the sleeve. And then I finished with a tubular bind off. So I've got tubular bind off at the bottom, the sleeves, and I started with a tubular bind off on the neck. Yeah, so this is my 5th, I think, love note. I love the love note. It brings me joy.
It brings you joy. But it's only the first one with the mohair for you.
For me, yes. I've done another one. I've done a couple for my granddaughters and had mohair in it. I've done a sample one with mohair. My other one that I have is actually a summer version, and it's done in Barocco Summer Silk, and it's just got the 3/4 sleeves. But yes, very happy with that. It's such a comfortable sweater to wear. And it's not pink, but I love that color.
I really like it too. I love it.
So that's FO number 1.
Let me see this. How does this, I want to look in the monitor. How does this look with my green eyes?
It looks good.
Yeah, I maybe should do a green sweater too. It's super pretty. It's really, really beautiful. Good job.
I've been into the greens lately.
You have been. You have been.
So.
Yeah, there are other colors, not
Besides
just pink.
There are?
There are. There really are. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going.
Keep going?
We'll do 2.
Okay.
2 of yours to 1 of mine.
Okay, so my next one is another Musselburgh hat. This is Zoe's. So Zoe picked the pom-pom. Actually, I had shown her the hat I was knitting, and we were at Little Red Mitten, and she picked the pom-pom. I don't even think
she did a good job.
The hat, but she just really liked the pom-pom, and it actually does suit the hat perfectly.
Yes,
so it's
it
a
does.
yarn bowler pom-pom, which is just tied on. They give you a nice, kind of felt button that you put the strings through, and you
nice.
just tie it on. So you can take that off then before you go to wash the hat. So this one is done in Tigger Targi, and that's a Blue Moon Fiber Arts. And this color is called Grapple. And I mean, in a lot of things you might not want the pooling in it, but the pooling looks cool in the hat.
It's perfect in the hat.
So,
It
and
looks really good.
she really likes it. So she's very excited about it. So yeah, so I didn't cast on another Musselburgh yet, but there will be more in my future.
There will be more. Yes.
Do you want to use that?
Sure, I'll use the
Okay.
hat. Or the head, sorry.
The head.
I have to dress the head first. We'll start with that. This is going to be loud on the microphone probably. Whoops. You want to hold the head?
That's a small head, Kelly. There you go.
So this is a pattern. It's called the Posy Hat. And this is yarn that I won, actually, from the Muskoka
Yeah, Yarn Connection.
Yarn Connection. It's really pretty.
It is
Look
pretty.
at this.
Yeah, it's very nice color.
I will admit, it's pink. Yeah. And when I will admit, I thought, you know what, it's maybe a little pink for me. But now that the hat's done, I don't know.
I like it.
Maybe it's okay. It has a really pretty,
Yeah.
pretty decrease
Crown.
too. So it's called the Posy Hat. This is the pattern that came with the yarn. And this yarn is hand dyed. Now, I'm not certain actually who is dyeing it, but it is dyed for
Okay.
Muskoka.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's somebody
dye it or someone
if
dyes
they're
it
dyeing
for
it
them.
themselves. Yes, but it's the woodland yarn. So it's this is a bulky, right? Chunky, bulky. So it's 80% merino, 15% baby alpaca, and then it has viscose or the little neps.
Oh, the naps, okay.
So it is like a tweedy, but it's a really light tweed that I like. Just little tiny blips of color, and so if it's at 16 stitches, that's a bulky.
Sometimes I consider Aran that. So
Aran?
it just depends. Like I think it feels
I think
chunky,
it's very, very chunky.
but it's not like a 12 stitch, which is where you're
But
getting
it's
into the bulky or
super
extra bulky.
soft. It's so soft. So I too have a pom-pom. Now I'm at odds on the pom-pom because I think the pom-pom's a little big. I don't know. Some people who
I
like
like it.
Some people like a big pom.
Or you could do a pom-pom with your leftover yarn.
I could do that, but I also have, sometimes I make my own poms, and I think I have some colors that might go as well, because I just feel like this might be ever so slightly too big. I don't know. So I haven't put it on there yet. Although now that I'm looking at it, I do kind of like it. Now that it's on a head, right? I was looking at it flat. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's okay. But it's pretty.
Yep.
So thank you.
Muskoka Yarn Connection.
I don't know why I can't remember the name of that store. I apologize. But the yarn is beautiful. The hat is beautiful. And I'm very lucky to have one. And it has the nice folded up brim that I like, because I think I don't look great in hats. I have a very long, thin face. So I like something that adds a little bit of bulk here around to make my face a little wider.
But you like the muscle burrow one.
I do, but that's 4 layers of fabric.
Yes, and I think I forgot to say, because we've talked about the muscle burrow a lot on here, but the muscle burrow is a pattern by Ysilda Teague, and it comes in a variety of sizes and weights of yarn, and so...
Yeah, this is really pretty.
Yeah.
Very pretty. Okay,
Very nice.
Back to you.
Okay. Okay, I have some socks. So, this is just a little pair of shorty socks. So these are called Midsummer Blossoms. The pattern is by Olivia of This Handmade Life. And these are done in Retrosaria Pomar, and this is the Mondim. And the Mondim is 100% Portuguese non-superwash wool. And it is my favorite sock yarn. Like, it's not superwash. I love it. I love knitting with it. I love the feel of it. I love the feel of it on my feet.
It feels a little rustic.
It brings me joy.
It feels a little rustic.
I love it. I love it.
It's not a super soft.
No, it's not super soft.
No,
but I really, really like it.
Zoom in here on this.
The pattern is
pretty.
Really, yeah, it is really pretty.
Really pretty.
So I found that now that we're kind of getting into, well, out of winter, but still there are days that are cool enough that I want to have socks on. That a lot of times I turn to my shorties and put my shorties on. So this only took, now mind you, I have a small foot. I should preface that. I do have a small foot. This only took 30 grams of yarn to do these.
Yes. But
I wear a size 6. So, anyway.
But I've made shorties in easily like
50.
No, less.
Okay,
less.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So it just depends on how much, like this basically is you do the rib and then you're basically into the heel, right? So it just depends when you do a shorty, whether you've got any distance up here or whether you're kind of doing the rib and then starting into the foot. So
yeah, these are really pretty.
So yeah, I'm really, really happy with them. Really like them. So I have to.
You have to get
take these off.
Ross to make
shorty blockers.
Some shorty blockers. I always think about that. Why aren't there shorty blockers for the shorty socks? Because all of mine are long. And then if I want to take a picture, you've got the naked sock blocker up there.
But I like the look of the wood. Okay, I won't put both these on. I'll just put one on. But there is a pair. Just let you know, there is a pair. So this is when we were in Montreal at the red sock, blue sock booth. We got the main color yarn here. And then at the booth right beside it was called Poppy's Pom Poms. They had Samoyed yarn. So this is a combination of the Samoyed yarn and the red sock, blue sock, what was it called? Nubby tweed.
Nubby fingering.
Nubby fingering?
Nubby fingering.
Okay. Yes, nubby fingering. And the color in the nubby fingering is Josephine. So it's actually a little bit darker because it's softened by the Samoyed yarn. And the Samoyed yarn was from Poppy's Pom Poms. It came in 100 grams skein. So the Samoyed yarn I used 42 grams. The Poppy's Pom Pom I used, I think it was 34 grams. Now the heel and the toe, because this is all held double, the heel, the toe, and the cuff is actually the Samoyed held with the Retrosaria Mondim.
This feels like a spa sock.
Yeah,
this is the ultimate definition of a spa sock. It's just a dream for your foot.
So they're basically
this
like
would clearly spark joy.
Yes, a DK to a worsted weight. So they're done on a 3.75 millimeter needle. So they knit up really quickly. In fact, I knit one in the hotel room, and then I knit one on the train on the way home. Because I think I had them finished before we got home.
Yes, you did.
So that definitely sparked joy because I had to bring the yarn right back to the room, roll it up by hand.
Yes, by hand.
And then start it. So that's what I took to knit night. The knit night.
Yes.
So, but definitely a really nice, super soft feeling.
I have yarn for this too. I just haven't
You
I haven't
could
done that.
actually do the pattern, and you could do the body of your yarn held with mohair.
Yeah,
So-
you could.
But yeah, but they're obviously for next year because it's a little too warm to wear.
And they're pretty thick, so
Yeah.
we would call
They would
them
be
more
more-
like a house sock.
Or a boot sock. They would
boot.
fit in my boots.
A winter boot, like a
Yeah.
heavy
Yeah.
winter boot. Yes.
But if you feel down, they're not.
No, but they're still pretty thick.
Yeah,
They're
I mean they're
thicker
not
than-
like a fingering weight sock that you
No,
wear in your
no, but they
shoes,
would be
so.
super cozy.
Yep.
This would go back to one of our old episodes called Cozy Cabin Knits.
Yes.
This would be perfect
Yes.
to wear at a cozy cabin.
That's right. Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so my next one, well, I'm going to talk about what I'm wearing.
Okay.
Because it was a finished object. Finished in 6 days, which is probably a record for me. It is super cropped. You can see how cropped it is because I'm wearing it with a linen dress. So I actually, it's a ranunculus by Midori Heroes. And I actually knit this one to pattern specs in the regards that of here. So like
Okay.
it's literally only 4 inches of a sweater and then your 3 inches of rib. So it's 7 inches in length for the crop, but it does still go like below, like in a typical dress where you have this sort of high waist
Right.
seam, it does still go slightly below that. So I wanted to get this one done for Montreal, and I knit it using the Holst Garn Super Soft. And it's in the colorway Slow.
Yep.
And Rowan Kid Silk Haze in color Mulberry. And I think, I'm trying to think, but there's only like 188 yards of yarn in this. That doesn't sound
No.
right.
How much of the Rowan did you use?
2.
Okay, so there's 225 yards in the Rowan, in the mohair.
Okay. Yeah, what was I thinking? I don't know. But anyway, it's very little yarn to make this small of a sweater. I did go down a needle size because I like a certain fabric on the sweater. And everybody knows that the ranunculus is a really generous sweater. And even still going down a needle size, there's plenty of sweater here. It's not plenty of sweater. It's teeny tiny. When Noelle saw it, she laughed. She thought that even looks small, like even for somebody as small as her.
Well,
But-
yeah, like this. But if I did 7 inches, it would come right to my waist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like my
It
natural waist.
But when you look at it,
I know.
not on, it really looks funny. And this one, I did alter it, I guess, a little bit because I didn't do any of the bind offs that the pattern called for. I just did a twisted rib for the sleeves. And I think that's a little different because I think it offers you
There was a tubular.
a tubular or an I-cord.
Oh yeah,
And-
not yet. Yep, the I-cord. Yep, I think I've done the I-cord on.
And
one
I
of
did
them.
the I-cord on my other one, but this one I thought, just simple, basic. Now, I will also say too that using the, once you go to a really dark color, and this is pretty dark, even the two, do I have them? Yeah. You can see how it changed the colors, but like this is the super soft, like it's really, really dark.
Dark, yep.
It's like a black purple. And then this is the mohair. So together, it still is a pretty dark sweater. So with that in mind, like it doesn't show as much detail.
You see the lace,
You
but
see
the
a little
texture
bit of
is
lace.
a little bit harder
but
to
yeah,
see.
the texture does get a little bit lost. I still love the sweater. I absolutely love the sweater. So I'm not complaining, but just bear that in mind if you are making a sweater and you want the texture to really show. The darker colors are going to mask the texture just a tiny
Yep.
little bit. And then the earrings, super cute earrings.
I thought of wearing mine because they actually would have matched this, but then I forgot.
Got these at Knit City. Our friend Jillian from the Little Red Mitten was wearing a pair that I noticed, and they were so cute.
Well, they were wearing them at knit night.
At knit
So
night.
then we were talking to them, and then the next thing we know, we got an email going, or a text going,
text
what
message.
color of earrings do you want? And
They made them for us.
Yeah, that
So
was
this
super
matches
nice.
the sweater pretty well, and I wore them in Montreal. And
I think I had mine on in the Montreal video.
you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you again, Jillian, for styling
Sparking
us.
joy.
Sparking joy. Yeah. If anybody had ever said that I was going to wear yarn on my ears, I would have laughed. But I love them. I think they're really
I would have
cute.
said yeah, probably.
I think they're super cute. So this sweater also. So I had the sweater finished before Montreal.
It was not finished. It was not finished.
I had the
before
body of the
Montreal. I'm just bringing a little reality.
I need the stick, you know, to smack her. But I had only the sleeves left to do. So I blocked the sweater before Montreal because I knew that I was going to knit sleeves on a train.
Yeah.
So I finished the first sleeve on the train, and then I thought I would like change up and work on a sock or something. No, Taskmaster Noelle. She's like, oh no, you have to at least get the other one cast on. Well, it's not much of a sleeve. So seriously, if you cast it on,
the worst part, the hardest,
you're gonna
most
finish
finicky
it.
part is picking up the stitches and putting the sleeve back on. So I knew once you got that done.
Anyway, it got finished, so it was finished that day. And she said, "You'll thank me later." I've yet to thank her, but I really do
welcome.
I really do like the sweater. I really do like the sweater. So, okay,
so I have more socks.
more socks.
So these were socks on a train, not socks on a plane. Just stick one on here. So this is Patton's Croy. So this is like kind of up here out of my lucky dip, which I am so far behind on this year because there's just been other things that spark more joy. So this is just a plain vanilla sock. Well, other than I did a little bit of a mock cable rib up at the top just to give it something. So I cast them on the train on the way to Montreal. I had one finished, but I don't think I didn't finish the second one till later. But this is just a 60 stitch sock. Now normally I do a 64 stitch sock, but the Croy is a little bit thicker. So I used a 2.5 millimeter needle and went down to 60 stitches. Normally I would do 64 and a 2.25, but this will be perfect. It will be actually a little bit big for me, but it'll fit like my daughter-in-law's and my daughter. So the Croy is purple haze. And honestly, like you look at the balls of Croy and you have no idea what it's going to knit up like. And I really like this. I really like how it's
nice
knit up.
pattern.
So
This does not even look like commercial yarn. This looks more like
a
something-
hand dye.
Like a hand dye.
Yeah.
It's really, really
and then
nice.
my heel, I did a shadow wrap heel. This sock blocker is my size. That's why these are looking a little big on here. But this is a shadow wrap heel, and it's just done in the Katcha, what did they call it? The little balls. Freedom something? Freedom sock.
Freedom sock? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Those little 25 gram balls that we bought.
Yep.
So that's just a gray from that. So it's a shadow wrap heel, which means you basically do it, and then when you cast off the toe, or Kitchener, not Kitchener, because I Finchley graft. When you Finchley graft the toe, then you're done. And these balls worked out perfectly. So I was able to match the sock space exactly.
Well done.
So, yep.
I did a huge blooper the other day, speaking of the Finchley. I wasn't in it was in a slightly stressful situation, so I was using knitting to calm me down. And I finished the sock and I had to graft off the toe. So I got out my little needle and away I go, and I got halfway across the toe and realized I'd forgotten to flip the sock inside out. Because I thought, this is not looking right. And I'm like, oh, and this is why you don't do things in stressful situations.
It didn't work as a design feature?
It wasn't, no. It could not be used as a design feature. So then I had to learn a lesson in patience and pick it back out and put it back on the needles, flip it in, and I did finish it.
Okay, so this is another pair of socks that I finished. And these ones do fit the blocker because they're
yours.
Size. Yeah. Okay, so there's one. I do have the other one. Just don't have it on a blocker. So these are the Rusamine socks. The pattern is by Kua Coffee.
It's such a pretty technique.
It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and she explains this technique in great detail. Super easy to do. This technique is called Estonian inlay. So it's basically, you're not knitting it. You're almost kind of weaving the yarn.
Mm-hmm. You can really see the woven stitches there.
Yeah, so you're weaving it over stitches and then behind when you go to the next little pattern section. It's super easy to do, and it's just such a pretty technique. Like, it's just so effective for the ease of doing it.
It's hard to believe that it's really hard to believe that you did this while you were knitting it. Like, it looks like something that was done, like some mindful stitching afterwards. It's so pretty.
So I changed the pattern a little bit. Again, I put in the mock cable cuff. The original pattern had stripes in the heel and stripes down here, and I believe it had a heel flap and gusset, but I just changed it again. I did the shadow wrap heel and graphed the toe, but I didn't do any stripes down in the toe. This is done in Retrosaria Pomard. This is the Mondim again. So the color, I believe, was called Licha. That's the main color, and then this is just their natural cream color.
Really pretty.
See, I don't think that feels rustic.
I do. It would be fine on my feet.
Yeah.
It would be fine on
Anyway.
my feet.
Yeah. So I really, really, really awesome pattern. Like, give it a try. And I really want to do this technique in some other designs too. I believe
I think
that
this would be really pretty on a sweater. It'd be nice to go down.
Midori Hirose has a yoked sweater that has that up in the yoke.
Wow.
So
Very
I
nice.
would really like to try that sometime.
Very nice.
So okay, so there. See, that was 4 pairs of socks. Now, mind you, it's 2 months. That's in 2 months.
That's right.
So there you
Okay. My next finished object is a sweater. Who am I? 2 sweaters. 2 sweaters on a podcast. Okay, this is what COVID does for you when you
go. I have to stay home and isolate.
After the first few days, I was able to knit. So then I just cast on a sweater. I can't say enough how much I love this sweater. This is going to be my new favorite.
Sweatshirt.
This is a sweatshirt. So this is the Coastal Crop Raglan by Tiff. Is it
Nealon.
Tiff Nealon. And I did not make it as a crop though, so it's
Nice.
quite a bit longer. I wanted this to be sort of like hip length. Maybe, well, it's actually even ever so slightly longer, but some of the details in the sweater that I really like that I'll show. So on the side, for instance, this
Yeah,
is the
that's a nice
side detail coming down. It has a split hem. The back is a tiny bit longer than the front. Then there's also up here on, you can just see them. You can see them
the
more.
raglan. Yep.
On the raglan, there's a little bit of sort of
A lacy detail.
a lacy little detail, just tiny,
Mhm.
tiny little detail. It also has, so then it has contrasting cuffs, and it has this interesting, get that in there, the pattern. It's like it almost doesn't look like a pattern. It's sort of like a broken seed stitch
Okay.
type of effect, and then you do a twisted rib, and it's a long cuff. It's almost 3 inches on the cuff, and then that's mirrored up at the top. The top is done just a tiny bit different, but it's a nice fit on the neck too, because it's kind of like, you can see it here, it's a little bit squared, and
Yeah.
then it goes across, so it's
Yep.
not what I would call a crew neck, but it's also not a boat neck, but it has this little drop here that's a tiny bit square that I really, really like. And the yarn that I used is the drop soft tweed, and the gray, which I think is the perfect,
It is. I like that gray.
perfect gray. And I am not a gray sweater person, but this is the perfect gray, and it's called peppercorn, and then this is carrot cake.
Okay.
And what I love about the tweed from Drops, and this is my first time using it, is that the naps are really integral into the yarn.
Yeah, woven in so that they're not
Woven,
like
so there's
they're not like ones
nothing
where you feel like
sticking
you're
out,
going
like-
to pick it off.
There is nowhere on this sweater is there a nap that's hanging out. Like, it's very well integrated. And in fact, in the orange, you really have to look to see the naps. But the naps in the orange are almost like a yellow.
Yeah.
You can kind of see them. So those are all things that I love about a tweed yarn, like a well-formed tweed. But I love the way, I mean, the end result is a really heathered tweedy look.
Yep.
So very happy. Now, I just finished blocking this one, and I was telling Noelle, it did loosen up a bit through here in the blocking, and I didn't aggressively block it. I really just laid it out, but I wanted to open up that side seam a little bit. So I think what I will do, gently,
Yes.
is spray it with a bit of water across the yoke and just do short little intervals in the dryer, and to try to get the yoke back to where it was before I
Yeah.
blocked it, because it really was the perfect fit. And I tried this on a lot because I had the pony cables that I was using, and I kept trying it on for length, because a lot of the sweaters that we make are a little bit
Yeah.
shorter, and I wanted to make sure that this one stayed where I wanted it on jeans. But this is so soft. I can wear
It
this
is.
skin to skin.
It is soft. But I can wear a lot of things skin to skin.
Yeah.
But this is soft.
But this one needs no shirt underneath it, and I know it's going to be just a favorite. Oh, and want that comfortable sweater
Yeah.
to wear. So very happy with it.
So how much yarn did that take? What is the yardage in the? I've never used it. Like, is the yardage generous in the?
Yes, so they're 50 gram skeins. Are they? Yes. See, when you ask me questions, I don't know the answer.
I think they're 50 grams.
They're 50 gram skeins because I have them upstairs, and I used exactly. It came down to a little bit left, 7. I had bought 8, didn't touch the 8th one at all, and I didn't even use half a skein to do the contrast color. So what I was thinking, since I have a full skein left and almost a full skein of the orange, I was contemplating trying to do a Musselburgh hat because this is a DK.
Well,
it's a DK. They have a DK pattern.
But usually we use 100 grams of fingering. So remember, one cake's only 50.
Yes. But how much would you use in a DK?
Oftentimes you'll use more because the yarn's thicker.
Well, I have 2 other skeins of gray. They're not the same dye lot.
Well, yeah, because if you're doing the Musselburgh, you're going to turn one inside out, so you can have 2 different looks, right? So you can have something else that goes up under.
Yeah, it could be a totally different dye lot.
Yep.
But I thought it might look kind of nice because depending on how I do it, like it might flip up and be all gray, or I might flip it and show the orange.
Yeah, yep.
It's just a way to use up what I had left over, but I love this sweater.
Yeah.
I really love
You
this
could
sweater.
always do arm warmers or mitts or something like that with it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
But yeah, highly recommend the pattern. And it was fun. It was, even though it was like a lot of stockinette, it's DK weight, so it went really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved her little design details, like just, something different at the neck, the eyelet here, the unique cuff.
yep,
The split hem, and even, I didn't even talk about this little piece here too, but this is the hemline, and even the hem, it's not just ribbing.
right.
It's like almost like a broken rib. And so everything on, and it laid, oh, that was the other thing. Okay, sorry. I know to keep saying one more thing, but that was the great thing about this. From the point of finishing knitting it, that hem laid that flat.
Yeah, that's nice.
So the technique that she uses, or the pattern.
Well, I think it doesn't, like, how like 1 by 1 rib kind of sucks the rib in.
Yes.
And then I find I'm always blocking it out because that's why I do my rib on the same size needles. I don't like it to suck in.
I
want it to just.
I did the same size, but you know how even at the bottom, like sometimes it will want to flip up.
Yeah.
And because it is a split hem, I was worried about that, but it lays super flat. It's just gorgeous fabric.
Well, and it's got the yarn's got alpaca in it, so the alpaca always has a nice, nice drape.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
very nice.
Back to you.
Okay, I have my tassels in the sky. Oh, it matches what I have on. There. So this is Tassels in the Sky, and it is a pattern by Vincent Villapando, and it's a free pattern on, where's my little tassel at the front here? It's a free pattern on Ravelry. So it's basically done with, where's the tassel? It's basically done with a skein of slub and a skein of mohair. So I used Full Moon Fibers Moonrock Slub in the color Lavender Field, and then I used Leo and Roxy Silk Mohair in the color Fable. And I used basically all of each skein, but you get quite a generous size.
Yeah, that's a good size.
Like quite a generous size shawl.
And this weighs nothing.
It weighs nothing, and it feels amazing.
Yeah,
it feels
against
amazing.
my skin, easily
Yes.
against my skin.
So
I love this pattern.
I really like it, and it was so easy to knit, super fast. The tassels were fun to make,
and they look awesome. Look at them; they're like
big, fat, fluffy tassels.
Yeah,
it brings me joy. And it was so much fun to knit with. And you know what else brought me joy?
What's that?
I won a prize from Little Red Mitten for the Hold Me Double Cal for this shawl.
Oh, did you?
Yes. So I won a gift certificate so I can go and get more yarn.
Go buy more yarn. This is fun though with the slub.
That was awesome. It is.
Was the pattern designed for slub? Is
yes.
that what you said? Yes.
Yes.
Because slub is one of those yarns that I never quite know what to do with.
I would knit a sweater in this weight.
Yes.
Like just a plain crew neck.
With the mohair. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels like I can't even describe what it feels like.
Gosh,
and
I want one now.
You can't see through that.
No.
So
this would be beautiful as a sweater.
So the original pattern called for a 4mm needle, but I thought that would be too tight, thick. So I went up to a 5, and I really like what I've gotten, the fabric that I've gotten with a 5. So.
Oh, I really like this. I love it.
It was such a fast knit.
Oh, I feel like I need to make one. I might need to buy something to spark joy.
Well,
this is so fun.
I have things to drop off at Little Red Mitten this week if you need me to pick anything up
Okay.
for you.
Okay. I might. I really
'Cause
might.
friends do that.
Friends do that? Yeah, friends are not enablers though, right?
Anyway, yes, I really like this. And this color, goes with a lot of things in my wardrobe.
No, but this color would go with a lot of things because
Yes.
you've got these little blips of color. And I have to say, like, there's like some little blips of
I know.
like bright green.
Yep.
The gold I love, but the bright green I
Yep.
would not think to put in there. And you know what? It
looks
works.
I really like it. And there's like little orangey ones.
Yeah.
And you see the tiny little bit of pink, fuchsia pink. And
I love it.
yeah.
Okay,
And
this is missing from her basket when she leaves. We'll know where this one is. I really like it.
It looked, and it like, well, the picture that I'll send you to put in, like it looked really good with my jean jacket.
Yeah.
Like just on the outside and then
Also
the
known
tassels
as a
hanging down.
Canadian tuxedo.
That's right. So yeah, very happy with that. Such a fun pattern. And I mean, that's right. Like sometimes you don't know what to do with the slub, but the slub is really pretty when you knit it out. Like I said, I would definitely, I'm thinking of doing a cozy classic raglan with this, with the mohair and the slub held together.
Well, after seeing this fabric, I want to do one because, you know, the raglan, as we saw, it's my favorite. It really is one of my favorite constructions for a sweater for me. I really like the way a raglan goes across the shoulders. I like the look of it. So this, I love this.
I know.
I can't stop admiring
And with the
it.
tension, it knits up super fast.
Okay, I have to think about that one.
Okay. Okay. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, I have a little bit of sewing. Well, today is Sunday, so I have one sleep left before Mr. Miles, and his mom. She picked me up on that last week because I said, I can't wait to see Miles. And she said, you didn't mention me. But you know what? He's new and he's cute.
I know.
And I've
I
had
know,
her. And I'm always excited to see
Kelly,
her.
Zoe's 4. And Jacqueline will still go, well, you're coming to see us too.
Yeah, I know. But he will be here tomorrow and they're coming for a week. And I could not be more excited. So he has a little outfit. I had knit him the Christopher Bunny, which I showed in the last episode. But then there's some clothes that go with it. And I was going to send it out to him for Easter and then sick with COVID.
Yeah.
And Kendall said, just hang on to it. He'll wear it when he's there. So these are his pants.
Those are so cute.
And I love the little, it's a solar system.
Yep.
On a tiny, tiny little baby. Look at that. Little diaper bums and all. And then I made him a little
that's cute.
onesie to go with it. But again, I just love these patterns. And the patterns I use to make his clothes are by Brindle and Twig. And I highly recommend if you're a sewer and you've got little ones to sew for. And their patterns, once you buy the pattern, it goes all the way from newborn up to a size 6. So it's really long-lasting
you can use
pattern.
it for quite a
You can-
while. Yeah.
Yeah, you can use it for a long time. And I just keep printing them off in different sizes as he grows because he's now up to the 6-month size. So yeah. Anyway, so that's what I've been sewing.
Okay.
You've still
I
got
have
some more
one
stuff.
Well, I have some spinning. So this is a skein of John Arbon Devonia. Well, I bought the fleece and then I spun it. So I spun it into a 3-ply. So this was a 3-ply where I actually divided up the fleece into 3 equal parts, spun them onto 3 separate bobbins, and then plied it all together. And I'm really happy with it. Like, it's probably about a sport weight. I should open it up. It's probably about a sport weight.
It looks suspiciously similar to this color. Well, no, it doesn't
It's
on
pinker,
camera.
it's pinker.
It doesn't on camera.
The color is called Broken Flower. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's
Well
not
done.
super soft. It's a more rustic-y blend. I can't remember everything that's in the blend, but it's a really nice tweedy yarn. Heathered, yeah. So yeah, so that was my first 3-ply. So I'm quite happy with it.
Look at you go. Look at you go.
Well,
This
it's
is amazing.
Fun. It's fun.
Wow.
So
I'm impressed.
yep. So I do have a fleece whip that's on my wheel right now, but I can't bring my wheel here, so it's a sock. It's my first sock yarn that I'm spinning, so we'll see how that goes. I've been trying to spin a little bit every day, but I was busy this weekend. I was away, so I haven't got to it. So hopefully next week I'll get back into the routine again of spending a little time every day spinning. Okay. So
Is that your last
that's
one?
my last FO. Yep.
Well, my goodness, I think we spent about 40 minutes there.
I
too.
know.
This is going to be a long episode.
Well, it'll have timestamps.
It'll have timestamps, and
So.
you might have to watch it in segments. And
Like over a month. Just watch a little bit every day.
Yeah, as you're doing your thing that you want to bring joy every day. And I just noticed when I put my mug up, it has a little bluebird of happiness
Oh,
on it.
there you go. Perfect. So
Okay, well then let's
talk about whips.
Let's talk about whips.
Okay. Do you have any whips? Be truthful.
Actively working on, no.
Okay.
No. I have two, sorry. I have 2 pairs of socks in bags. I'll show you one pair. The other pair, I'm more than halfway through the second sock, and I showed them on the last regular podcast. It was the Andrea Mowry Everyday socks.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love. They are probably going to be the sock when they're done. I'm probably going to say, these are the best socks I've ever knit. These are the best fit I've ever knit. And I won't be in a hurry to do them again because it's 2x2 rib. It just goes on forever.
It doesn't spark her joy when she's knitting them.
They're a little bit of a slog.
Knit.
They're a product knit. And truly the only thing that's keeping me going is once I got that first one done and I tried it on, I'm like, oh, I have found my sock.
There you go.
These will not be knit for gifts. These will not be. Nobody else is going to be deserving of these socks. Andrea wrote a stunning pattern. The fit is fantastic, but my goodness, it's a lot of 2x2. So the ones that I've been working on, and I put these on the needles a while ago too, and I finally finished one, and this is from Rose Hill Yarns. And I just put a little cable pattern down that goes all the way down to the foot, and it's her Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So you get,
Whoops.
Needles
Needle
flying.
on the floor. Needle down.
Needle down. So you get a 50 gram skein and a 20 gram for your heels and toes. And I had bought this last year, like way back when we were doing Knit Chat on Sundays.
That's right.
And I had bought one for myself and one for Noelle. And well, Noelle has hers long knit and probably well worn. Oh, that's why needles are down. It was attached to the next sock.
I have worn them.
And I'm just way behind. But anyway, it's a super pretty color.
Mm-hmm. I love the color.
It really looks good.
And mine looks so different because mine has a rosy pink in the heel, and it's amazing how it alters, not alters, but it's amazing how you view the yarn, the main yarn, differently by the mini that you put with it.
Yeah. Actually, when I get these done, we'll have to
put
them back on blockers
together.
and show the two together. Like it's exactly the same yarn, but it looks completely different because of the color that we have with it.
I mean, there's so many colors in there that you could pick out. Like it would look gorgeous with that dark burgundy.
It looks good with my sweater even.
Yeah.
So I could wear this with my Blundstones,
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is my only
active whip.
One of 2 active whips. I have something else that I want to show you coming up in acquisitions. It's going to be a whip. It might be a whip today, but we'll save that.
Okay. I have several whips.
Okay. I'm going to go hunt for this needle.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty.
This
Even
is
from down here.
This is my Silver Forest. This is by Jennifer Steingass, and this is done in Holst Super Soft. And the colors that I used are cinnamon and
right here.
Elderberry is that
Burgundy.
purpley burgundy color. The creamy color is almond, and the green is kingfisher.
Wow, that's pretty.
So I love it. I love it. But of course I've gotten to the sleeves, and now it's I've started other ones. And the thing is with the long sleeve sweaters now, I'm like, oh, I'm really not going to wear it. So I go on to something else. But I will get it done. I just have to get the sleeves on and get them going. But
the nice thing about this though is you get it done now, even though you're not going to be wearing it now.
And then it'll be as soon as it's cool in September, October.
Yeah, like you're ahead of the game.
Yep.
You've got a new sweater to bust out in the fall. This is so pretty.
I love these colors. I love them.
It looks so...
And that's it's not a normal color palette for me either.
I know, you're branching out. Look at you. Like this is a me color. This cinnamon. This is where I live.
But it's nice because it's like tweedy. Like it's
very heathered.
Heathered, that's the word.
Very heathered.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. But you know what? Even when you're looking down here, like, I don't know how well the camera, but look at the burgundy in there. So
that
then when
color
you
really
pair
went
it
well,
with this, like it's a natural for sure.
Anyway, love it. And I did do a little bit of shaping just down the side. I just brought it in a little bit because it was, I don't know. I just thought it was nice not to be really super boxy around the bottom. Mm-hmm. So.
And then not twisted rib.
Yes,
twisted
rib and the tubular cast off. I did a tubular cast on, and I'll do a tubular cast off on the sleeves.
Very nice. And you held this single.
Yeah. single. So it's a 27, 28 stitch gauge, but I don't believe that that's what the pattern is, or it might be. I can't remember. But anyways, I like the holst at that gauge better. So I will go up to the pattern size that encompasses that when I'm doing a sweater in it.
Yes.
Because I just think it makes a nicer fabric. And then this does soften up a little bit and bloom out once you block it. So, yeah. So I'm very happy with, I just really like it. I just really like the colors. It's just, I don't know.
We're both that way. We're more concerned with the fabric that we get than we are about getting gauged. So we will often figure out, and like with holst, I mean, you've done enough sweaters in that, so you know what your gauge is.
Yeah, I know what size needle I like to knit it on and what I get from that. And I like it on a 3mm needle. I do sometimes knit it on a little bit bigger, but my preferred is on a 3mm needle.
And even when I did the gray sweater, I actually swatched because it was a new to me yarn, and it's a DK. So, I mean, I can swatch pretty quickly, and I don't do like a full swatch. I do a little swatch. I do a Tracy size swatch. And anyway, when I swatched in the recommended needles, I found that it was just a little bit looser of a fabric than I cared for. So I did go down a needle size. Yeah. So then I did the math to figure out what I needed for stitches. And I think I went up a size in the sweater and down a size in the needle to get what you wanted. To get what I needed.
Okay, so my next whip is
so pretty.
This is the Corbis by Natasha Hornsby, who is Moonstruck Knits. This yarn is yarn that I got at Knit City, Montreal. It is Sonder Yarns Sunday morning DK, and this color is called Sunday Kind of Love. There you go, all the Sundays. So this pattern, it's really different.
And you bought it on Sunday.
And I bought it on Sunday. I know, because that was like, oh, bing, yeah.
Yes.
Idea.
Yes, checked all
Sunday
the boxes.
yarn, Sunday, gotta buy it.
This is so pretty. I can't wait to see this blocked.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's going to bloom everything. Like the pattern in here is, let's go a little closer to the camera. Look at this. It's amazing. There's so much going on in here.
Yeah. So it's you knit this triangle, or it's kind of like a little poncho that you knit first, and then you fill in the sides with short rows. So you're really not, until you kind of get down past this V, you're really not knitting
no clue
all the way in the round. No. And even with the sleeve, because if you look at this sleeve over here, like look at all those stitches. I'm like, wow, that's going to be like a huge sleeve for me. But then when you do it, you fill in this gap, right? So that part of your sleeve
this
comes down to your elbow almost.
Yeah, so it goes down like this again.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're filling in all with the short rows.
What an interesting construction.
It is. It really was. And then this is it's a more of a fitted sweater, and I've tried it on, and it fits nicely, but you can see that's gonna like block out a little bit when I block it.
And then show the back too, because even the back, like that basket goes all the way up to the top.
Yep. And it does have a neckband. I can't remember what it is, but and the baubles on here, like you're doing all these little baubles, but the easiest way, I think that the easiest way to do baubles is to knit backwards, because they're just little 3-stitch baubles. But if you have to turn your work every time, it takes forever. But if you just, it's just getting that into your muscle memory to be able to knit backwards, it makes things go so much faster. So much faster.
I can't wait to see this one done. This is really, really pretty.
So then I only have one sleeve left on that one. And I think, again, in this one, the actual pattern called for the sweater to end like just below your elbow. But I thought, I have enough yarn. I'm going to do long sleeve, because I find if it's a wool sweater, I would rather have it long sleeved, because I can push the sleeves up if I'm too hot. Plus, I haven't even gone into the third skein of yarn yet. So I still, that was 2 skeins, and there's still probably about 5 or 6 grams left in the second skein.
And what size are you making? Do you know?
I think it was the second size.
Second size, okay. Yeah. Very pretty. Unique.
Yeah, I really like it. Okay. And I'll stick this one over here. A few more.
Noelle didn't sleep this week, in case you were wondering.
Okay. So this one is my Air sweater.
You sound like a mariachi band.
I know Zoe loves those little pom-poms. Okay, so this is the front. So the front's just plain, but then
business in the front,
party in the back.
Party in the back. Look at this, guys.
So this is the Air sweater by Amy Miller. I started this sweater in 2017. I looked it up, November of 2017, and I had the front and the back done, but you had to seam the sides. So that's why it got set aside and I didn't want to do it. And then I showed it on Knit Chat and said, shame me into doing this.
Yes.
So then I blocked it before I seamed it. And then you pick up the stitches for the sleeves and you short row the cap. And then it was just, I did decreases all the way down on the sleeve. But again, I think, no, it was a long sleeve. So I did it long sleeved. This is in the Holst Garn Coast and the color is Cocoa. It feels amazing.
Oh, so soft.
And this is the, like, the body has been washed already, but this sleeve hasn't. And it even softens
and you're
up
holding
more.
this single.
It's so held single. So,
it's fine yarn though. If you're going to do this sweater,
it's third.
It's a commitment. Like it's going to take you a minute. It's a long time to do this.
Okay,
Oops.
so that's the third cake, and they're 50-gram cakes. And then I have a fourth one, which I think I might actually be able to finish it with this one because I'm partway down the sleeve already. So I might be just into the fourth one because I think I've still got a little bit of a neckband to do too. But yeah,
and the
super
coast
light.
does come in cones too because there's one just right here over my head. So if you're looking to do a larger project or holding something double, then you can get it in a cone as well.
Yep.
That's really pretty.
Yeah, so I think that'll be a nice sweater actually to throw on in the evening in the summer.
It's so
like,
light.
With a pair of like white jeans or something. And
well, even yesterday when we were out
it was actually a little cool out.
Yeah, but I had on my Coast sweater.
Yep.
And it even had, it had three layers because it had two of the Coast and one of the Titicaca.
Right.
And I mean, I needed it. And it's very light and soft, right?
And it's nice when you've actually got a light sweater like this with this weight. Like I could fit a jean jacket over top of that. Whereas if you've got a heavier, really woolly sweater, it's harder to do that.
Yeah. This is so pretty. Look at that lace.
I loved doing that. That's what drew me to it in the first place is I wanted to knit that lace. So then when the lace got done, it was like, okay, that was fun. Now I don't want to do the stocking stitch. But I'm doing it. It's going to get done.
It's just going to make you want to, like, when you're finished it,
I'm
you're wearing
cast
it. You're
another one.
You're going to want to keep your back to everybody as you're talking to them so that they can see the back. Oh, pretty.
Okay. And then I did start, I'll just show this really quickly. I did start another sock. This is another color of the Croy, but this is going to be one of the guys' sweaters. So this color is called Landscape Stripes. And this is for the guys. I'm doing 68 stitches on a 2.5 millimeter needle.
If you haven't knit with Croy, this is what we meant earlier when we said you look at a skein and you have no idea what you
it's
get.
going to knit up like. So I think with this, I'm either going to pull out the gray to do the heel, or I might pull out one of the dark greens just to make it a little bit more masculine looking.
I like that.
So that's where I am with those. But that's all the sock whips that I've got. And then my next whip is this is the Laura vest.
I have to admit, this looks suspiciously exactly like I left it in Montreal.
I haven't done anything. But I didn't have it started at the last podcast.
No, that's right.
So this is the Laura vest, and it is a pattern by Irene Lynn. This is done in Sandens Garn Pure Gint, and I believe this color is just called light pink. It's just going to be a short cropped vest. When I get around to doing it, I've got to pick up stitches across the shoulder now. But there's so many things that I've just been inspired to cast on that anyway. It will get some work maybe before the next podcast.
I feel like honestly at this point in my life I just need to get a pair of blinders so I can't see new things and I know then I'm not enticed, and then I would get some of the things that I want to do finished without just being like, and you're pulling out something that sucked me in on yesterday. So
okay. Oh no. Just a minute.
Stitches down.
Yarn repair.
Oh, and it's mohair too.
No,
you're in the linen part.
Okay, there we go. Rescue accomplished. Good thing I watch all those 911 shows. Okay. I am in love with this. Feel that, Kelly. Feel that.
I felt it yesterday, and then I bought it, and then I bought it.
Okay, so this is the Floodgate Tee by Tanis Lavallee. And this yarn I bought from Leo and Roxy. So it is their anniversary or birthday special linen silk,
Look at that. And
they're silk mohair. So
Silk
it's two
mohair.
yarns. So in the pattern, you've just got, it's just basically texture, right? Because you've got the two yarns that are dyed the same color, but you just get the textural difference. And then once you get down, I think I've only got one more stripe of the mohair to go, and then it's just going to be the linen silk the rest of the way down. And then it's just got the back of the tee is got a little split there, so it has a little keyhole. You do an I-cord edging around it, and I'm in love with knitting it. I love knitting mohair.
This is the same person that said, I just really don't like knitting summer sweaters.
But I do in this yarn. That was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Anyways, one thing I'm going to say, when you are working with and knitting a mohair single, you should make sure that you don't have the stitches all scrunched up on your needles, because if you do, it's so easy because the yarn's so fine. It's so easy to knit two together.
Yes. So
if
a
you've got
long cord.
a long cord is
cord
better.
you can fit.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you've got it spread out a little bit more. It's a lot easier not to do that. So yeah, so that's
so pretty.
yeah. So this
And
was,
it's not pink.
it's not pink, but I did buy pink. But this is local. Well, I actually bought it the day before because I bought it on the Friday because I stopped there on my way.
Trying to get the jump on everybody else.
And I had to start it. I had to wind the yarn as soon as I got to Jacqueline's and start it. So, yeah, I really like it. Okay, and there's the two yarns. So that's the linen. I think
This is so soft.
it's 65% silk, 35% linen.
And if you ever thought you didn't like knitting with linen because it's crunchy, it is.
No, it's not.
This
in
is
that.
not.
No.
It's the silk, and it's like, I know it's a little bit hard to tell at this point, but you're going to see it once
Yes.
she gets into
the sheen in it.
The sheen.
Yeah.
It is just gorgeous.
And this color is called Morning Glory. I love
it's
this.
like they're perfectly
See-
dyed for one another too.
Even that color is okay. See, did
Can't
you see
wait.
pink? Did you see pink?
No.
Well, I'm wearing pink, but anyway. Okay, that's it for whips.
That's it for whips. Well, gosh.
So. Okay. Did you buy anything? I did.
You mean since we bought out the show in Montreal? Yes, I bought a few things, but I had some gifts too.
Okay.
So let's move on.
Okay. Okay. I have a few acquisitions.
Your table is definitely your
But
side
it's
of the
not,
table
it's
is
not,
definitely
it's
fuller than
not,
mine.
it's not all stuff that I bought.
I like this too. This is really pretty.
Yeah, anyway. We'll get to
Okay,
that.
we'll get to
Okay.
that.
First, I'll hold
I
this
meant to look
crinkly
at
one
that
up.
yesterday and I forgot.
So, I actually, I have it upside down. I actually won this. So this was on the Little Red Mittens live, and they did the instant giveaway, and this is a mini set from Ginger Snap, and it's called Oxidation.
Mm-hmm.
So Oxidation Mini Snap Set. So there's 7 20-gram minis.
Very nice.
I think they look really cool together.
They do.
But I
You
don't
do
know
a
what I'm going to do yet. But it might be socks. I could probably do 2 pairs of socks and do like a...
like a scrappy sock.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they're fun. They're
Yeah.
really fun.
And maybe just hold like, not this one, this one.
Yeah.
Like for the heels and toes or something.
Yeah, very nice.
So, okay, so that was...
Okay, that's it for the crinkle. Everything
That's it
else
for the
is crinkle free.
Yep.
All right, carry on.
Okay, well, why don't we do this? Because you got this too.
Sure.
Okay, so the silk
Yesterday,
linen...
but yesterday was local yarn shop day.
Yes.
So we were doing our best to support. Just that's a disclaimer.
So, I originally showed the blue Morning Glory floodlight tee that I was working on in this, but they also had it in this color.
Mm-hmm.
So I got one of these color, and this yarn has really generous yardage. It's got 490 yards,
Yes.
and it's 115 grams.
And I got parchment, which is a little bit of a non-color, but here's my thought process. I'm thinking this will look, I want to do something that kind of is like an over sweater or an over vest, just something that will go over all of my summer
Yep.
linen dresses, and this will go with a lot of colors.
Yep.
But again, like you
It
can
is pretty
see, you
because
can
it's
see
subtly
the
shaded.
you can see the sheen in there,
Yeah.
right? It's so
Yep, and
pretty.
there's the, like you can really see it in the, this color is called Peony.
And didn't you say this has to do with their fifth?
Yes, fourth. It was their fourth anniversary or birthday, and they went and looked at what were the, you know, if you go and you look at your anniversaries, whatever the gift is for that particular year, it was silk and linen. So that's why they did the silk and linen.
This is beautiful.
So I got this, and I'm also going to get a skein of this in the mohair to match it. So I might even do like a ranunculus or something with it.
Oh, that would be...
So I'm not sure yet. But then I
Beautiful.
also got a skein of it in this color.
I like that one too.
And this color is called Morning Dew. And then I got this
Oh, pretty.
to go with it.
Pretty.
So I might do a rocket tee, because I think it would look really nice in the rocket tee with the different wider bands of the two colors.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
But yeah. So
Very
this
nice.
this is the Morning Dew, and this color is called Ice Ice Baby.
Ice, baby.
So, and their mohair is so soft.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, very nice. Okay, I wanted to show this because this I didn't buy. This was one of my birthday gifts from Noelle, and she gave me a braid of fiber. And when I opened it, I mean, I love the color, but I'm thinking, oh, well, is there a spinning wheel in here? Because I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But she said that she would spin it. So this, I'll let you talk about it because you know more. But it's absolutely beautiful.
okay, the color is called Riverbed, and it is from On a Quest for Fiber, and it's 100% Polworth. So that's a 2-ply. It's
I love the colors.
When I washed it, you would not believe how much that plumped up.
It's so
like just
soft and squishy.
So now you can feel how much softer that is than the pink skein that I had.
Yes, yeah,
So
definitely.
just the different fiber reacts differently when you spin it, and so that is probably about a sport weight, but there's close to 400 yards there.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's got lots of colors in it. So
this is what she knit the little bluebird in.
okay, the little bluebird
But
is
it's
different because when I divided up the skein there was 113 or 14 grams or something. So once I spun that, I still had a little bit left on the one bobbin.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to pull it off and then ply it and then tie it onto that. So what I did was chain ply, and I've only chain plied just a little bit of yarn a couple of times. So that was a chain ply. So it's a 3-ply. So that's why it comes out more in like
Solid.
variegated. Yes. Well,
But
not self-striping, gradiated.
gradiated, okay.
Whereas this is more barber poled.
Barber pole, yes. But look at the colors in there.
So
This
I
is
really
gonna
like
be
the
so
colors.
pretty.
So
this is definitely headed towards a sweater yoke for me.
yeah, it would look nice like in a taupey. I'm sure you probably.
Well, that's
did
what I
that
was
something
talking
that'll-
about, that color Mouflon.
Yes,
By
that one that we looked at.
Well, no, they didn't have that color, but the Mouflon is more like a mushroom.
Okay,
More
okay.
like this. So I was going to check that out on the color skeins, but it's so pretty. Can't wait. So thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so also for Leo and Roxy, I also picked up a skein of this.
And I wanted to look at that yesterday, and I got distracted when I got there and forgot to.
So this is their marled sock, and this is the yarn that I've knit all the work socks out of, but they have just dyed it. So then you still get the black core, but then all where you had the cream color, this is kind of all variegated with like teals and purples, and so I even think that would look really cool in a sweater, doing like striped with a mohair.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I picked that up. I really like that. That was it from Leo and Roxy.
Okay. And
So what do you want to show now?
Okay. Well, I'll talk about
Okay, do that one.
this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is happy for me, but sad for somebody else. If you're familiar with the Mineville Wool Project, which is from Nova Scotia, and I have several of their yarns, she put out a post that somebody else let me know that she's no longer going to be dyeing. Well, for now, anyway. She's closing her dye studio. It has to do with some of the supply issues that she has, and just... She said it's just not feasible for her anymore, and just the demands that it was putting on her family time. So whatever she had dyed up, she was selling off at a discount. And this is her organic merino worsted. And I grabbed 3 colors.
Ooh, those are nice.
And the idea behind it is I'm probably looking to hold, oh yeah, they're very
It's nice,
soft,
yeah.
is looking to hold maybe a mohair with them. And I was thinking like hats and winter projects. I do not have very much worsted in my stash. So I just thought these were pretty. And this
pretty.
color is honey brown. which is like the perfect camel
It is.
color. But it also would look really good. See my skein of
Yes.
Wish You Were Beer
Yep.
up there from my love note?
Yep.
How good would that look with
Yep.
this, right? And then this one is Gray Sage. Really pretty colors. And then that one is
Pink Sand.
Pink Sand. Yeah,
That's pretty.
look at which one she grabbed, right? But
Very
they're
pretty.
so soft, just so soft. So it's unfortunate that that she's not going to be dyeing, but I do still think her shop is open, and there may be some other colors in there if you're interested. So I'm looking forward to what I can make out
Yeah,
of these
pretty.
come winter. Okay.
Okay, so after we went to Little Red Mitten yesterday, we took Zoe home first because Zoe had had her fill of
Zoe
yarn
had
shops
enough
by
yarn
that
shopping.
point. Yeah, so we took Zoe home. So then Jacqueline and I went to Knit Stitch in London and bought a few things. Okay, so she carries Mondim. And Mondim is one of my favorites. So I got this, I don't know, their colors are numbers. So this is 301, but it's kind of like
It's a very dark teal.
yes, but very pretty, kind of heathery.
Mm-hmm.
Just a very nice color. And then I got 3 skeins of this. So this is like a light lavender, because this would make a nice sweater. Like this yarn is 100% Portuguese wool. So there's no nylon. It's not superwash treated. I love the stitch definition that you get with this yarn. So I think I want to make a cardigan with this.
I thought you were going to say that sweater. Oh, and I remembered it this morning.
Oh, the one Jubilance.
Jubilance? No.
No. It was by Tiff Nealing. No, it wasn't. No, it
No,
wasn't.
it
It was by
wasn't.
Jose Paquin.
Yeah.
I did look it up and favored it.
Okay. Anyway, we ran
No, I
in-
would do that in Holst.
in Holst.
Yeah.
But it would look, when you talked about stitch definition.
Yeah.
it
Oh,
would
yeah.
look
The
good in
stitch.
this.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, gosh, I can't. Exuberance.
Exuberance.
There.
Okay.
We ran into somebody at Little Red Mitten yesterday, and she had a sweater on that we both really admired, and it was called Exuberance.
Yeah.
And so we were checking it out, and it sort of has like a leaf pattern across the top, and it's almost like they're in relief because
it's against a reverse stocking stitch background.
Yes, so they really pop out, and
Well, it would look really
would
good.
look
in
really
that.
good
Yep.
at something like this.
So,
Very nice.
and then the other color that I bought of this, and this will be for socks. Although, look at how those would look together.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's probably for socks though. So I don't know. It's color number 201. I'm not sure what the color name is.
How pretty would that be as a yoke?
I know.
In this.
I know. So
You could do a yoked cardigan.
they even those look good together.
It picks up a lot of colors.
And then so I got those there, and then I also, and it was funny because we met Debbie at Little Red Mitten.
Okay.
She was one of the first people that we talked to. And when I went to Knit
was
Stitch,
there?
she was there. So, and it was funny because she was checking out at the checkout, and Suzanne had the mohair hanging by the checkout, and she goes, "Oh, I still need to pick up a few condiments."
Yes, well, those are condiments.
So I needed to pick up.
That's
I love this
so
color.
pretty.
This color is called Faded Rose, and you can see they're both Faded Rose. Both came in at the same time, but they're different. So I mean, that's why I definitely would helical knit when I do something that's got, even if it's just the mohair, I would still helical knit
Yeah.
with that. But love it. So this is the Lichen and Lace Marsh mohair, and it's 72% mohair, 28% silk, and it feels super soft too. But I don't know what I'm going to pair it with yet. I'm pretty sure I probably have something that it'll work with.
Oh, really? I don't know. It
Anyway.
reminds me a little bit of the Surrey alpaca that I got in Montreal. The similar colors.
Yes.
Yeah, very pretty.
So
I have one more thing, and it's partially a gift and partially a purchase. So when we were in Montreal, we met Jenny and Jill.
yeah.
And she was working on a sweater. She was working on the Roost sweater by Amy Christophers. I will put a picture in as I'm talking about this. And she had made the sweater. Did she make the whole sweater in Biche Bouche?
I'm not sure.
So she had made the sweater, anyway, the body of the sweater, and it was a color that I fell in love with. So we knew that they sold the Biche Bouche at Espace Tricot. So we went there on Sunday morning. I was going to buy some and they didn't have it. And then I went on a little bit of a search, and it seems that that color was terrifically out of stock in a lot of places. So I was chatting on Instagram with her, and she's like, well, you know what? I want to gift this to you. And she said she had it in stash. Super, incredibly generous. And so she did. She gifted it to me, and she sent it from the States. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the colors in here. There are so many colors in here. It's just beautiful. And so the sweater needs five colors in the
yoke.
In the yoke.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm running out of my knitting lingo. All words are failing me. Anyway, so we went yesterday at Little Redmond, and they have the Jamieson and Smith jumper 2-ply, and it is very similar consistency to the Biche Bouche. And this is the yoke colors.
Yeah,
now it's coming up a lot brighter on there.
It is, because that yellow is not that bright.
The yellow is not that bright.
It's more mustardy.
Yes, but there are sort of two themes in two main colors, and it will be sort of these two. And then this one kind of goes more with the orange, and then there's a mixture, just tiny little bits of this with this main color. But I cannot wait. So when I said there might be a whip on my needles today, if I have a spare moment, I just want to start this. I know it's for winter, but I don't care. I just want to start it.
Yep.
Like, talk about sparking joy.
Yep.
I can't wait. And we just got this in the mail the other day, and I opened it, and I'm like, I can't wait to get this on needles. I love the way it feels. And
I've knit with the Biche and Bouche, the one that's got cashmere in it, and I loved it. And I've also got this one in pink.
Yes. So thank you so much for this lovely, very generous gift. And
so, yes, and then
the package was not without something for Noelle as well.
So I got these skeins of wool, which I've always wanted to try, but it seems to be a hard yarn to get in Canada.
It is hard to get in Canada.
So the one year I was at Rhinebeck, they had it, but it was, I mean, things are so crowded at Rhinebeck, it's hard to go in and really have a good look or whatever, so I ended up not getting any of it, and I always regretted that. So this is 2 skeins of their wash worsted. So it's a worsted weight, beautiful color. The color is called,
and it has a gorgeous twist.
Yes,
it's like a high twist.
Yes. Well, I think that the premise behind their superwash is that they use an environmentally friendly process. Like, it's a little bit different process than the normal superwash process. And this color is called Lady Slipper. So I haven't decided what I'm going to make with it yet, but I love it. It would even look nice with, like, I don't know, like putting it in the yoke of something. You could even do like a sort of more variegated or speckled body, and then put in the, so I don't know, or it would be perfect for baby knits.
Oh, so soft, yes.
Yeah, it's perfect. And it would be good for kids knits too, because you can wash it.
Yeah, it's very nice.
So thank you so much. It was such a joy to receive something like that in the mail. Happy mail.
Happy mail. Squishy, happy mail.
So we'll definitely show you what we make with it.
Absolutely.
So,
and they're on a fantastic trip right now. We're just going to talk about that too. They're on a Shetland trip, and they sent me pictures yesterday. Oh, they're having a great time. Yeah,
she said, I got some pictures last night, and they're it looked amazing. Some of the buildings look exactly what I pictured them looking like.
I know.
It's
hard to believe the amount of history. Like, we knit something and we're having a fun, grand time knitting it. But it's, we look at it as, it's a passion for us, but it's our hobby. You don't think about, the years ahead of us that have been put into this craft. And the museums and the artwork and the sweaters that they have over there that they're looking at. It's hard to, it's almost overwhelming, the history of knitting.
Yeah, and that type of yarn and that type of knitting is definitely my favorite. Like, I love doing color work and knitting with rustic yarns. And
and they did so much of it, like, it was a skill that was sort of born into them almost. So, they didn't use patterns for the most part. They were just sitting there creating these things, and they're just works of art. They're beautiful.
Yeah, I would love to visit, like, Jamieson's of Shetland, and then there's Jamieson and Smith. So
yes, very nice.
Someday.
Someday. Yes.
Someday. I'd love to go to Shetland Wool Week.
Yes.
So.
Yes. So.
Okay.
Okay.
But I think that's it for today.
I think
that's probably good.
I think we did good. We did good. So I hope everybody had a chance to get out over the weekend and visit yarn store for their local yarn store. And if not, I hope you were able to do at least a little shopping online.
There were some that had some specials online. So hopefully you managed to get some. It was nice just to go out and go into a yarn store and feel the yarn, because the last 2 years we haven't had local yarn store days, so that was really nice.
Yeah, so. I feel like, a lot of people say this, but I feel like I'm never again going to take for granted the freedom of being able to go out and shop and meet with people. Yep. I just truly, after 2 years of being kind of definitely locked in or secluded and having to do things differently, I don't think I will ever again take for granted what a luxury, what a privilege that is.
No, I know. I mean, even the fact that we could get together previously, like on Saturday mornings, and go to a coffee shop and knit. And at the time, you just think,
it's just any old Saturday morning.
And now it's like,
But we did have last weekend our first day under the bridge of knitting.
It
wasn't on a Saturday. Saturday was a little cooler, so we went down on Sunday morning, and it was glorious, in a word, just to be down there in the sun with the beautiful landscape of the bridge and the water behind us, and just to get together with friends and knit. And oh my gosh.
Yeah, so now that we're into May, we're hoping that that's going to become more regular, depending on what the weather does.
Yeah, but on Saturdays usually.
On Saturdays,
On Saturdays, yeah.
So. Okay.
So again, just to recap, we've got the new make along.
Yep.
And there's timestamps in the video now that I learned how to do. So
and the sock make along is still going on.
Yes.
So get your socks in there. Get your Spark Joy projects in there.
And we are like a whisper away from 4,000 subscribers. So thank you very much for that. It's been so much fun to watch the channel grow and just be able to share all the things, our little fiber journey with you, and to learn what you're all up to as well. Right. That's some of the best things.
That's right.
Meeting the people that we've met. And I was shocked the other day when we're doing our little giveaways on Knit Chat, our last 2 winners for the little pouches that we make. One was in Australia, one was in Israel.
Yep, it's cool.
I'm like, Israel? Seriously? I said to my husband, I was shocked. I said, other than the internet, and you know what, the internet, everything has a good side and a bad side. I know that there are things that are not great about the internet, but for this purpose, to be able to share what we do with somebody in Israel, like that wouldn't have happened in any other time frame. Like there's no way that we could have met somebody from Israel.
No, and so when you look at it, like, yes, COVID was awful, but we probably wouldn't have started doing this if it wasn't for COVID. So I think we need to look at some of the good things. There have been a few good things that have come out of it. And first of all, appreciating friends, family, just freedom in general. And then the number of people that we've met because we had to do things a little bit differently.
Absolutely.
And I mean, a lot of those new things are going to continue on.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyways, we want to thank everybody for watching us, for tuning in, for spending time with us. We continue to have a great time doing this. We love meeting people, talking to people. And join us on Tuesday nights if you can.
Yes.
So,
okay.
So till next time, probably a month.
Happy knitting.